Hello and welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode number 329 at scavengerlife.com.
We are sitting in a little tiny hotel room on the edge of the bed.
Huddled together.
Talking into this microphone. So that's the glamorous world of podcasting.
In Munich, Germany.
Yep.
I've never been to Germany.
Yeah, so we're on our way home. We kind of are doing slow travel. We took a train yesterday from Vienna to
Munich.
Munich. It was very nice.
It was very pleasant.
Then we got to, because it's Oktoberfest, we got to spend the evening kind of taking a long walk in Oktoberfest, which is basically just like a big county fair.
It's like a big county fair.
Yeah, I'm sure German people, they'd be offended by that, but that's kind of what it reminds me of.
Maybe German people don't know what a county fair is, so they wouldn't know.
Yeah, it was cool. It was just really crowded, just a lot of huge rides, and then just little stands with, pretzels and popcorn and,
But then there were the major beer halls at every corner. We didn't really go in there because we were like, we're not going to be drinking.
Right.
But I thought those were kind of cool.
Yeah, and when we would stand in front of one of those, there would just be a stream of
drunk people,
really just falling out of these places.
I mean, it was funny because we were watching the rides and stuff, and we got to like the beer hall area, and I'm like, man, there are so many more drunk people here, and we're like, oh, because they're all leaving the beer gardens. And the thing that surprises me the most, and this was in Vienna as well, because it's Oktoberfest there too. So many people wearing lederhosen.
It's rawhide kind of like
jumpsuit shorts and wool vests, and the women have those like crazy dresses
it's
with
like
all
they're
their
like
frilly.
A milkmaid,
Yeah, so. I mean, I'm assuming that comes from traditional like Bavarian dress from the old days, but I didn't think like everybody would be wearing it. I thought, some older people who are traditional or like some little kids. No, everyone's wearing it. Hipsters, young people, teenagers, like everybody's wearing lederhosen. It's amazing. And real lederhosen, not just like costumes, like the real get-up.
But it was nice. So it was a fun, just kind of be able to kind of hang out.
Yeah,
there.
it was fun to see. Definitely, It actually wasn't as crazy as I thought. I thought it would be like insane, and people were so chill.
Yeah, it was good.
It was fun.
Okay, let's talk about eBay.
Yes.
So we are going to be home on Sunday, and we've been away for 30 days.
Yeah.
And this is the total that I've had. So on our main store, we'll have 175 shipments. It's actually will be more since we still have a couple more days.
We'll sell a little, yeah.
For a total, and this is not including its shipping costs. So we made about $9,200
over the month, yeah.
Yep, which is good.
Like, it's hard to turn your store off when that's the case.
5 buyers have asked to have their items canceled, and those aren't included in the 175
because they needed
shipments.
them sooner.
And then in our second store, we have 20 things to ship, and it was about $650.
It's pretty low.
Yeah, so that's good. I mean, again, we're big advocates of changing your store handling time and letting buyers know and allowing them to make the choice whether they want to wait or not. But
it's worked for
great.
us, The hard thing is really like, I gotta go home and ship. And the crazy thing is we're leaving for another video job in a week, so it really is like a crunch.
Yeah, I think our goal this next year is to, we'll build that big storage building, and then if we can get our helper, teach her how to ship, and maybe in a year if we do another big trip, she'll just be
shipping.
She'll just ship. So this time,
that'd be great.
When we come home, we're going to have her come over and start teaching her how to ship.
Yeah, she's going to help me. Because I need help from you pulling inventory, and I need help from her, like, kind of helping me organize it with invoices and, stuff like that. So,
and also, we've been talking on the forum about this eBay's, its seller update, the fall seller update that eBay does, and the big kind of thing that I think a lot of people are talking about is this new program, its returns program.
Right.
Where I guess eBay's going to put a new search tab where a buyer can say, just show me things, where if I don't like the item, I can ship it back for free.
Right.
And so the buyer can return it for any reason at all and not pay any shipping on it, and there's no
restocking fee.
It's restocking fee.
I do want to say this though, because people are like, yeah, that's like Amazon. Amazon actually is not like that. Amazon, if you say, I didn't like the item, they expect you to pay shipping back. But everybody's just like, it didn't work. And it's a robot, so it doesn't matter.
Just buyers have learned it doesn't really matter. They can just
say it doesn't work. There's no back and forth like on eBay where you're like, well, let's talk about this.
So I think that's interesting. So I guess, this is kind of a flip-flop of what eBay was doing several years ago when they tried to get everyone to ship things for free.
Do free shipping, yeah.
So in this case, you can charge people to ship it to them.
Right.
Just if they want to return it,
there's no charge.
So we're going to check that out. I mean, obviously, this is fine if you sell clothes or something that can go in like a little envelope.
It's
or
lightweight,
lightweight, then, it's like a couple bucks here and there, right? It's, so we may go through our store and just choose the items that we can actually ship affordably. But obviously the big, heavy things, there's no way I'm going to eat it's $15 just because a person felt like they, changed their mind.
Right.
And that's the other thing. I mean, I just want to always remind people, nothing is ever free.
No.
I mean, it's free.
Ask anyone who has free shipping.
Yeah, I mean, it's free to the buyer. A seller just adds more to the price.
Right. They're like, it's going to cost me $3.50 to ship this.
So, it's like if I go on eBay and I want to buy an iPhone case, it's like, do I pay $1 for a case and $3 to have it shipped to me? Or do I buy something $4 and it's free to ship to me?
Right.
I mean, it's the same thing. It's just psychology.
It's psychology. And what's funny is, and anyone who buys on eBay will tell you this too, because I've been buying a bunch of stuff on eBay for the new house and just to resell. And it is the psychology. If you have two almost similarly priced and one has shipping and one is free, you choose the free shipping.
Is that true?
It's psychology.
See, I don't know if I always do that.
I don't know. I guess it depends. It just depends on the item. If it's a commodity item, I'm not saying I always do that because one could be lower priced. It just looks cleaner.
Right.
It's like, that's the price.
Right. I guess it just kind of bugs me because it's not free.
It's not really free.
It's kind of like when someone will message us and say, I'll give you $20 and I want it to be ship free. I mean, it's like, okay, buddy, but I still have to pay $5 to have it shipped to you, so it really isn't a good deal for me.
Yeah.
But I guess, like people say, it's whatever the market seems to be calling for, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, let's talk about our numbers for the week. This week we sold 45 items for about $1,400.
That's a great week.
Yep, it was a good week. We had an average price of about $30, which was nice. We sold one thing on Bonanza. It's kind of like that freebie sale.
Yeah.
And then in our second store, we sold 3 things for about $200.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Things we did sell, like one thing, I forgot we even had it put up there. I remember my father moved from a house, his house, and I had some boxes of stuff that I had as a kid. And, I'm sure it's like any parent. He's like, all right, kids, time to just take your stuff.
Get your stuff out of here, yeah.
And we basically went through it, and we put a lot of it online to sell.
We sold a lot of it, yeah.
And one thing that sold this week was a knife that I had.
Where'd you get that knife?
It was for $33. It was
just like,
I think I got it from my grandfather. It was like a fishing knife, and it was like in a little scabbard.
Yeah.
It was always in bad shape. It was a rusty knife, and it was in my desk drawer when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird, I guess. Like I'm a kid and just like pencils, and there's like this rusty knife. But it sold for $33. I don't know.
Well, look, somebody could clean up that blade.
I know, but it's strange. It didn't have
no markings or anything.
But it's just, I guess it's just one of those things that's weird. I think back to it, I can just clearly see it in my mind as a kid.
Well, what's interesting, like, there is more to this knife, though. It's got a cool look. Like, the handle almost looks hand-carved out of metal. Like, someone hand-carved it and made a mold and, like, made it out of metal. Like, it looks like a hobo knife, you know? So it's not just, like, this rusty steak knife, you know? It's like, it's got a look to it. No. So that's why we were like, this is kind of a cool looking. Yeah. It's someone else thought so. They bought it for $30.
We sold some perfume for $125, and this was from that when we went to an auction 6 months ago or something.
Yeah, it was a Okay, let me wrap this up real quick. It was a table lot of crystal, grandma crystal, and there was this huge box of perfume. It was designer perfume. There was one guy who knew what it was, and we were bidding against him, and we got the whole table for $200. And the crystals paid it off. Like, I was going to throw all the crystal away first.
And when did you say it's crystal? It's like
like lead crystal. It's like it's like little vases and like little candy dishes, like stuff I would never buy. But I was like, I know there's a market for this, and if I mark them cheap enough, I can get the money back I paid for this table.
And then the perfume is just slowly selling off. And we always find, we always say this, that when you buy a big cache, you know, a big group of items, it always takes about a couple of years for it to all kind of sell off. So it's kind of like
if you have higher prices.
So it's like you're investing in a little, pipeline, as you say. You know, you put it's money in, and then at the end of the day, we'll probably make a couple $1,000. So.
Yeah. So that was great. That was a big sale. Some other artwork sold. Now this is like, I called it flash tattoo art.
Let me tell this story. All right.
That's my sale.
Right. Well, the other thing was my sale. Okay. And you stepped all over me. All right. So.
Boy.
This one is, we go to this junky thrift store.
Yeah.
And Ryan finds on the shelf, just by itself, this really delicate piece of paper.
Right.
That has this beautiful, just hand pen art. And it's just like... And it's what, from
1928. It was dated 1928.
And she just takes it and, gently finds a book to put it in to save it, and then we buy it. I mean, it's just incredible to me that this little piece of paper survived this long chain to get to this thrift store. And it's the kind of thrift store where, I mean, I'm surprised someone didn't crumple it up. It wasn't torn.
It's just weird it was sitting on the shelf like that.
And I think your brilliance was to call it like flash tattoo art,
Because the thing is, it was done in that style. I don't think the person who drew it was thinking it was a tattoo, but because of those early, in the early 1900s, there was a style.
It's like scrolling.
Yeah, it was like like it literally looks like the tattoo I have. There was like a scrolling banner with the name and the date, and there was a swallow bird like holding the banner in its hand with all this like stuff behind it, and I'm like, someone's gonna buy that for flash art, like flash tattoo art.
It's within a month for $95.
Yeah, so I had it up for higher than that, but I took an offer of $95.
Yeah, I was like, Ryan, you got to take.
You're like, if you don't take $100,
it's one of those examples of why I love what we do. That we got to save something that would normally just be in the dump, but something that someone created,
and it's beautiful.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
We sold a vintage crock pot. We had bought these a lot.
You know why? Because I love crock pots myself.
Right, and the vintage ones are that like kind of avocado green and the orange.
It's got little patterns all over it.
We sold it for $35. We've learned we don't buy these anymore because they're too much work to store. They take up a lot of space
and to pack
and to ship it. And $35, it's really not worth it. And then the final thing we'll talk about is I found a T-shirt.
Yes.
Just at a thrift store. Bought it for $1, and it was a vintage Cure shirt.
Yep, the Cure, Boys Don't Cry.
Boys Don't Cry, and Ryan didn't understand how cool this was.
Well, apparently I did, because I priced it at over $100.
After I let you know, I was like, this is so cool.
Well,
and it was tiny. It was like an extra small. It was small,
yeah.
But some cool hip girl who's like
bought it for $110.
Wasn't even born when his album came out. So cool.
Yeah, so those are vintage rock T-shirts. I know are worth a lot. So I just, the thing is, with that Cure shirt, I didn't know if it was truly vintage, if it was a new print.
Yeah.
But to me, the tag signified this is old.
There's a whole thing now where like the companies are printing like a Journey shirt and
or like Metallica,
and they're totally
like
not vintage.
AC/DC. I found
They're
that
faux
one.
vintage,
They're faux vintage, so that it's hard to tell sometimes.
So on this trip, I think we talked about this. We have not done any scavenging at all.
No.
So again, another week, no scavenging.
We're like travel scavenging.
I don't know. I feel like on other trips we've really been into like doing it, but
I know why, because I didn't want to haul anything home.
Yeah, that's true. But it's just been fun just to walk around town without any kind of agenda. So it's been nice. Okay, let's go to its questions that people asked.
Okay. You can call our voicemail even when we're overseas. And the phone number is 540-407-8486.
Hey, Dan Ryan. This is Brian from Illinois. So I learned something today while watching a video of the Craigslist hunter on YouTube about local pickups. I thought I'd pass along. You mentioned local pickups once in a while. He had some item listed for local pickup, and he was communicating with a potential buyer in his area. And the guy wanted to come and look at it, and so he told him he wouldn't do a deal outside of eBay, but the guy wanted to come and look at it, to inspect it or whatever. So he exchanged his address with the guy through eBay, and I don't know if he actually made the sale or not, but later, eBay's system had detected that he had done that, and so they locked him out for 7 days. They basically shut down his store for 7 days. And he had looked at the policy online, couldn't find anything that specifically said this issue. It does say you can't do deals outside of eBay, but the complication here was that they didn't complete the sale before they exchanged information. And he had talked to eBay, and he said the proper way to do it, even if they don't want to pay right away, is for have the buyer commit to buying it, and then you can exchange an address or whatever. The person can look at it, and then they can close or then they can pay for it through eBay after that, if you want to do that. I know you always say you want them to pay ahead of time. That's probably the best way to do it, but I wasn't aware that your store could be blocked or shut down for 7 days. So I thought I'd pass that along. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty strict about that, about like we don't really fool around with people coming to check things out. If we choose to put it on eBay, everything has to be done on eBay. They have to buy it, and then they can come and get it. It's just like, if I have a T-shirt and someone's like, can I come over and check it out before I buy it? I'm like, no. I mean, it's eBay, It's just, I understand if it's like a more expensive item and someone wants to come and view it first, but that's just the eBay thing. I mean, that's probably the biggest, it's no-no, because there's a chance that eBay will get cut out of a deal, and that's just not their business model.
I've even noticed, like, just on regular messages when people are asking me for measurements, as they always do, there's a little note on the top of the eBay message where it's like, please be sure not to exchange outside outside contact information. Like, they're being really, really strict about it.
Well, I mean, because...
I know why.
I mean, we all know that there's probably plenty of people that try and get around that,
And there are, because there are lots of buyers who are like, just send me an invoice on PayPal. And we're always like, no, we don't do that. No. Yep. I'm not risking my store for that. It doesn't matter. So yeah, with local pickup, I think, it's like if you've dealt with either buying stuff on Craigslist or selling stuff on Craigslist, it's not worth your time to just like go look at something. It's like you're either going to buy it or you're not. If there's some like extenuating circumstances that you're like, ooh, this is really bad. Like they really didn't disclose this. I've actually never had that happen on Craigslist. But I mean, there's times where I'm like, it's not really what I wanted, but it's cheap enough. I'm going to take it,
Yeah.
So, but that is very, very good advice. Like, do not exchange, addresses or phone numbers outside of eBay. I mean, on eBay to go outside of eBay, because that is just, yeah, they will shut you down, which is, I know sounds extreme, but that's their right to do that, unfortunately. Yeah.
Okay, that's the only question we got. It's this week, or comment. We're going to keep this short because we have to get to the airport. And
we are flying to Reykjavik again.
Yeah, I'm so ready to go home.
It's funny being homesick because it's fun to like be in Europe and do all this stuff, and then I'm like, I have so much stuff to do at home.
Yeah, but
and I like where we live.
But that's a great thing about traveling, though, is that we get to go and forget about home, and then go back, and then really appreciate what we have at home. You know,
you absolutely do. Our cats, our houses,
my kitchen.
Yeah, my kitchen. Yeah. Like we're in a hotel room. Couch. We're in like the typical like hotel room in the middle of a city in Europe where there's no place to sit. There's no kettle to make tea. It's just very bare. So yeah, I do miss home where you can cook whatever. You can have a refrigerator. You have a kettle. It's great. The little things in life. Okay. You can check out our blog at scavengerlife.com for the links we discussed and to join the conversation on the forum. You can leave a question or a comment on our voicemail line 24 hours a day. The phone number is 540-407-8486. We post an episode every Monday morning. On Wednesday, we post a What Sells video, currently being brought to you by Stephen Schultz, that shows what he sold and how much he sold his stuff for. It's fascinating. The stuff he sells is amazing. You can subscribe to us through iTunes or YouTube, so you always get the latest episode. You can listen to our other podcasts, which we just recently updated at shampooandbooze.com. We've also linked to our Airbnb rentals, that's plural, rentals, on both blogs, on the sidebar. So you can check those out. You can come visit our beautiful, beautiful area in the Shenandoah Valley. And we are ending this podcast from Munich, Germany in 3, 2, 1.
Bye.